What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so last night we saw the first game of the 2025 play-in tournament, and this game featured the Orlando Magic and the Atlanta Hawks. And of course, they were battling for the seventh spot in this year's playoffs. Of course, a couple of years ago, we introduced, well, I say we, I meant sports, NBA. I ain't had shit to do with it, but of course, the NBA introduced the play-in tournament, I guess, to make it a little bit more spicier as far as more teams to have an actual shot at going to the postseason. But anyway, Orlando won this game running away 120-95. Earlier in the game, in the first half, Orlando's lead was as big as 22 points. The Atlanta Hawks were able to chip away at that lead during the second half, coming within a couple of points. But then Orlando was able to, in the latter part of this game, blow the game wide open again. And as I said, the final score was 120-95, a 25-point shellacking. And because of this victory, the Orlando Magic clinches the seventh seed. And the Orlando Magic, who are 41-41 this year, will play the Boston Celtics at Boston on Sunday, because we know Boston has racked up the second spot in the Eastern Conference. Now, as far as the series, the season series is concerned between the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic, it's 2-2. But to be fair, in their last matchup, the Celtics rested their top 5 or 6 best players. So they could easily be 3-1 Boston. But anyway, in this game, Cole Anthony scored 26 points coming off the bench for the Orlando Magic on 10 of 17 shooting from the floor. Paolo Banchero had 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists for the Orlando Magic. Wendell Carter Jr. had 19 points and 7 rebounds. And Anthony Black, also coming off the bench, had 16 points on 6 of 7 shooting from the floor. It's not over for the Atlanta Hawks. They still have a shot at making the playoffs because tonight's winner between the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat will play the Atlanta Hawks Friday for the 7th spot. So things aren't over for the Atlanta Hawks. In this game, Trae Young had 28 points and 6 assists. He was only 8 of 21 from the floor, only 1 of 5 from three-point range, but he was 11 of 12 at the line. But Trae Young was ejected after receiving his second technical with about 5 minutes left in the game. And this game was not particularly competitive. And honestly, I don't think that this is going to be the Hawks' year. I anticipate Chicago to win tonight's game against the Miami Heat. And then I anticipate Chicago to beat the Miami Heat on Friday. And I think that Chicago will play the Cleveland Cavaliers for the 8th spot. And I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe this is wishful thinking on my part. I don't think Chicago's going to beat Cleveland, but I wouldn't be surprised if that series is somewhat more competitive than it should be. You know what I'm saying? Chicago doesn't really have, Chicago's been playing pretty good basketball, really good basketball over the last calendar month. Cleveland has been sort of hit or miss. I mean, they haven't been awful, but they're nowhere near the team that they have been earlier in the season when they was racking off 16 win streaks, 10 win streaks, 9-game streaks, 12-game win streaks. They're not the same team. I think they finished 64-18, but at one point in time, Cleveland was on pace to challenge the record for most wins in a season. And look, you can make an argument that Cleveland, wasn't trying to set some wins record. Cleveland was, from what I could see at least, was making an effort to give their starters some rest. And that can be a good thing, especially if guys are kind of like hurting a little bit. But at the same time, I've always been of the impression that a little rest is good, but too much rest is not a good thing. Teams can lose their rhythm. Players could lose their edge. It can affect conditioning to a certain extent. So, I don't know. I just never thought that was a good thing to get too much rest. And we've already seen in the load management era that resting players does not translate to players being healthier. If anything, players practicing more, playing more games, getting their bodies toughened to withstand the rigors of an NBA season seems to be the only cure for this injury bug that we have that has permeated throughout the entire NBA. So I know I went on a tangent about some other stuff there. My apologies, but once again, congratulations to the Orlando Magic. And I hope this will be a great, great playoffs. I really do. And tell me what you guys think.